need to do is you need to work on your skills as an entrepreneur, right? I mean, that's what you have to do. It's like new booking. That's right.
Hey, they coming through.
So,
y'all know that sound.
Y'all know that sound. So you need to work on your income abilities, right? So your ability to generate more income, right? So
money coming through. Roll it. Roll it.
Yeah. So you just need to, generate more income.
Yeah.
That's the first thing.
No, totally. Hey, what is Airbnb arbitrage for the people who don't know what Airbnb arbitrage is?
So basically, Airbnb arbitrage is, so you know how like you're probably renting this place, right?
Yeah.
So instead of you renting it and actually moving in, you just furnish the place and then you relist the property on Airbnb. And there's two reasons why this is great, right? Because number one, it takes very little cash to get started, right? You can get started with like $6,000 to $10,000, right, depending on what market you're in. And then number two, there's a lot of cash flow. Right, so let me just give you one of my properties as an example, right? I have a 4-bedroom up in Culver City, right? I mean, we're in Culver City now, right? Yeah. And it profits about $10,000 a month because it revenues about $10,000 a month, cash flow is around $5,000 a month, right? Because the way I furnished it and the way I set up my pricing is so in tune with basically like the market that, so like there's, I don't want to get too much into the whole pricing thing, but anyways, there's basically like, your booking lead time and your things like that. And you just kind of have to get it right, when you really do it. So yeah, that's it, man.
For sure. So getting it right when you really doing it, it sounds like you're probably testing a lot of different things as well. So it's like you got to figure out how to navigate through those moments of challenge and treasure. Because sometimes you may think you got this algorithm of how to list it, and then things may change. The market in that neighborhood may change.
Right.
So as you navigate through this journey as being an entrepreneur, I need you to understand that challenges are going to appear every single day.
Right.
I'm talking about every single day that you wake up, you're going to wake up with a challenge or a treasure or a challenge. So the framework that I want to give you and what I want to install in your mind is that I want you to love the challenges just as much as the treasures, and the treasures just as much as the challenges. Because when you love the challenges just as much as the treasures, you understand that challenges are just opportunities of growth.
Absolutely.
And what is growth? Growth is always a treasure, every single time. I got better today. I grew better as a person. I woke up with a challenge today, and I grew later in the day. Mm-hmm. That's a treasure. You got to treasure those moments. You got to treasure that challenge, though. Because when you walk in that challenge, you got to stand in it. You got to stand in it. Because I'm about to go. I'm about to go, and I'm about to grow. You got to stand in it. Get excited for that challenge. So just to break it down to y'all, to get a little creative and spark your imagination a little bit, check this framework out real quick. So you're a pirate, right? And you're a pirate. We know what pirates do. As a kid, you heard about this treasure in a great far land, all the way across the seas. All the way across the seas. And you heard about people, millions and millions of dollars of gold. You craved it for such a long time. You heard about it, and one day you grow up and somebody just hands you a treasure map, a map to this treasure. Whoa. You just got a treasure. The most grandest treasure ever. And you're celebrating. Woohoo! Let's go. You just gave me a map to my dreams. You just gave me a map to my goal. The map lays it out how to get there. Let's go. That's a treasure. But did I get there yet? I'm in a treasure right now, but did I get there yet?
Nope.
I ain't get there yet.
Absolutely.
Because on the map it tell me where I gotta go. I gotta go across these seas. Oh, now it's a challenge. I just got this map. Now it's a challenge. Now I gotta go get the treasure. And when I go get it, I get my crew together. And then now it's time for me to go to the boat. And now these seas is rough. Man, a rough seas, and it's so hard. I'm going across these rough seas. Bang, I'm in a moment of challenge. And I make it over to the next. I read my blueprint and I make it to the lands and I find my treasure. Oh, I just navigate through this challenge and now I found my grand treasure. It's a treasure chest waiting right in front of me. Let's go.
Right.
I've been working for this treasure all my life and it's finally here. Yo, it's time to take it home. Touch it for a second. Whoa, watch out. Yo, that's a booby trap coming right for you. You touched it you held your treasure for 1 second. The most precious thing ever in your life. You held it for 1 second. You held it for 1 second. And now it's a challenge because now I got to navigate through these booby traps. Now I gotta navigate these booby traps. I can't lose this treasure. I worked my whole life to get it. I can't lose it.
Right.
And then I gotta head back. And now I navigate these booby traps. I make it out clean. I beat this challenge. And now I figured out how to move the rough seas. That ain't hard no more. I go back home. Now everybody cheering for me. Hooray. Now it's a challenge because now they want my money. But y'all get it though. This is a real quick story to turn that imagination. But let's get a little bit closer to home though. Because this is real life though. You know? And I'm talking about every single day that you wake up, you're going to wake up with a challenge and a treasure. I'm talking about every single day you're going to wake up with a treasure or a challenge. Every single day you wake up. You got to love them. Because listen, check this out. Let's get closer to home. Every day I wake up and I feel anxious. I feel anxiety for my entire day. It's the worst thing ever. I hate it so much. I don't want to feel anxious anymore. But have you ever met anybody, or do you actually feel anxiety for 24 hours? Nah, right? You don't feel anxiety for 24 hours. Alright, so, yeah, nah, you don't feel anxiety for 24 hours, but, hey, so you feel it for 23 hours and 59 minutes. You feel anxiety for 23 hours and 59 minutes. Okay. That challenge, you found out how to beat that challenge during that day. Because you didn't feel it for 24 hours. You didn't feel that challenge for 24 hours. You feel this challenge every single day. And it's the worst thing in the world, right? You hate it. But, like, did you realize that, yo, you had a treasure through your day, too? You found 1 minute. I felt anxiety for 23 hours and 59 minutes. But I felt 1 minute of relief. I did not feel that anxiety at all.
And I think it's that mindset switch, right? Of like, you know, you can go through anxiety for 23 hours and 59 minutes, right? But then you have peace for 1 minute, right? And, and it's being so grateful for that little slither of peace that you just got, right? You know what I mean? And I think that's super important. It's like we have to switch our mindset to, you know, just being grateful and not just only being grateful, but being known that we were given this gift of life by God, right? And so therefore we need to actually work as hard as we can in order to get what we need to get done every single day.
Every single day.
Every single day.
And it's compounding on that every single day.
Right.
I got a minute where I beat it for a minute this day. My next day is now a challenge, and now I got to compound on it. The next day I got to go get 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. The next day I got to go get 3 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then I'm just compounding on it, building on top of that. And then once you start doing that, once you start loving this, you start realizing that it's only a matter of time until you get there. You're going to get there.
Facts.
You was in that point of addiction where I didn't know where I was going, but I knew where I was heading.
Right.
I knew I was going to get there. You had to get there.
Right.
It was you just had to get there.
Right.
When you love that challenge, you know it's only a matter of time. And then, so once you love challenges, you're going to start to intensely create challenges that force yourself to grow. Mm-hmm. And loving challenges will now integrate the ability to recognize when something isn't working. You'll be able to notice, okay, I'm not scared to go into I'm not scared to make adjustments. I'm not scared to to go into the difficulty of making an adjustment. And once you integrate that and you love it, this strategy will allow you to be flexible. And it will give you the knowledge to know that you can make adjustments at any time. So, David, we talked about how you had this drug addiction for a little while. Mm-hmm. You're 24-year-olds, you're killing it, but we would never know you had a drug addiction, you know? Right. By the way your mindset and the way you think, I would never guess that.
Right.
So, I need you to take me through from day one when you said, okay, I'm committed to beating this, to the day that you beat your drug addiction. Because again, in every day you had to just find little progress. When you're addicted to something, it just doesn't break, you know? Right. I know it was a slow, gradual progress of beating this. And so tell us how you were able to beat that.
Yeah, so basically, I was actually in my home country. I was in Nigeria at the time. And so I was just kind of like, I'm sick of this life, like just, just the cravings and then all of that. And then I was like, man, I literally told myself, like, okay, I'm going to lock myself in this room for the next 30 days. You know what I mean? And so what happened was I didn't lock myself in the room. And so what happened was there was 5 days that went by. And then I was like, all right, cool. So let me get out, you know what I mean? Get out into the world, right? And then so, yeah, man, basically I just kind of like, it just kind of slithered off me. And yeah, like, we thank God. And, I prayed very hard for it. And so, yeah, like, that's what happened.
You were willing to lock yourself in this room. Like, wow. Like, you were willing to do anything possible to beat this addiction that you were feeling. Mm-hmm. How empowering is that? And that's an ability that anybody can adopt. Is when you want something bad enough, you're going to make it happen. You just understand it's a matter of time. And I'm willing to go to any kind of lengths to make sure that happens.
Right.
I'm willing to lock myself in this room for 5 days. I'm talking about I don't even want to see nobody.
Right.
Because I don't want this to be in my life anymore. Mm-hmm. That just shows your resilience and your resolve to beat things. And if you can integrate that into your life, like integrate that, you're going to be able to shake from those bad situations, turn those into good situations.
Right.
Because it may be bad now, but just a matter of time, once you compound it, days go by, then you realize I don't even have to lock myself in the room. I developed the ability to be freely and not even have a crave for it anymore.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's really cool.
Right.
And so y'all gotta drop some fire in that for that one. Like, y'all gotta drop some fire in that one. Y'all gotta drop some fire, because my guy David just gave y'all some game. You know what I'm saying? He was willing to sit in a room for 5 days and not even leave it because he wanted to beat it so bad. What do you want to beat, and what do you want to do for it to beat it? Drop some fire if y'all feeling that right now. What are y'all willing to do to beat that challenge? Drop some fire in the chat if you feeling me right now. If you feeling my guy David, drop some fire in the chat right now, because he giving y'all heat. So, how have you tested and challenged your ability? How have you tested and challenged your ability? Do you know what you really could do? You gotta put your back against the wall more often and constantly.
Right.
Because it's gonna force you to create solutions and gain that experience.
Mm-hmm.
How else would you know that what you're capable of if you didn't truly challenge your ability and under every possible circumstance? He was willing to beat that addiction by putting himself in his room and locking him into it. He had to go test if he can do that. He had to know, like, okay, is this something that I have to do? Okay, it isn't something that I have to do. I can beat it. But he wouldn't have knew that if he didn't test it out. You don't know what you're capable of until you truly challenge yourself under every single circumstance.
Right.
You gotta navigate your business when you're sick, when you're low on energy. After an entire day of calling people, making negotiations and not closing one sale. That's what you gotta do. You gotta do that. Because you gotta understand that pressure makes you sharp.
Makes diamonds.
Pressure will create challenges that forces you to create solutions that you never imagined yourself creating. You would never been able to create that solution in a comfortable spot. Right. Not at all. That solution came because your back was against the wall. You had to sink or swim. And what you got to understand, if you sink, I didn't say you drowned, right? You're going to make it back up to the top. So embrace those moments of failure. Embrace those moments of sinking. Because you're going to swim back up to the top. And you're going to understand your capability. You're going to learn your ability to swim. And if you ever go deeper into that, hey, you'll be good. So check this out. If y'all feeling me, drop a fire in the chat. You have to push yourself to fuck up, or you know everything. You gotta push yourself to fuck up, or you know everything.
Right.
Leap into the things that you don't know. Leap into the impossible. I've accomplished enough and experienced enough in the area of impossible to realize that it's not shit that isn't possible. There is nothing that's impossible. And every day that I wake up, I'm always craving that challenge of proving that things are possible. And I'm the first in my family to ever be an entrepreneur. I'm the first in my family to graduate from college. I am doing the things that people never imagined me to do. Where I come from, there's not many people that's doing what I'm doing. I couldn't look up to anybody. This wasn't possible. Moving to Los Angeles wasn't possible for me. Being an entrepreneur wasn't possible. This was not an option for me when I was growing up. I had to start creating my own rules. I had to go through the land of impossible, the air of impossible, and I had to make it happen. And that's probably something that I know that you resonate with as well too. And so we were making these rules, creating it, and we had to start a little bit young. And your first business was a sneaker reselling company, and that was mine too. I started out selling sneakers in college, and David did this as well. So how did that first business prepare you to be an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so so basically what happened was I just liked shoes at the time, and so my friend actually at the time was, he had started a business, and so I was like, oh, that's pretty dope that he's doing that. And then I kind of just did it too, and I was like, okay. So what happened is we would go and he had this big RV, and we'd camp out and we'd take all of our friends and we'd do these raffles and things like that, and then we'd kind of give money to the managers, and so they would hold pairs for us and things like that. And then
backdoor.
Yeah, backdoor. you know how it is. You know how it is in the sneaker game, bro.
Yeah.
So basically, so then anyway, so I had a website and everything. Everything was going good. I was making maybe 3 or 4K a month, but I'm 16, dude.
Yeah,
That's a lot of money.
That's good money.
Yeah. So then Amazon actually contacted me, and I didn't even know you could sell on Amazon. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And then so basically, I started selling on Amazon, and I remember the first day I sold, I'll never forget, I was literally on the toilet, literally taking a shit, and bro, I remember just getting 3 different orders, and I was like, oh man, this is crazy. So basically that kind of ramped it up into so I was just selling like crazy, I would get pairs and I would flip them. And at this point, I kind of I didn't really let go of my site, but my site wasn't no longer my concern. It was Amazon that was my concern. But 8 months in, at this point, I'm a 17-year-old kid, and I'm making maybe 20 to 30 grand a month. I was balling out, man. I had the chains, I had everything, dude. It was crazy. And so basically, I got kicked off of Amazon because of literally some bullshit. It was just some bullshit. I don't even remember what it was, to be honest with you, but basically my ratings weren't good enough or something of the nature, and so I basically had gotten kicked off of Amazon. And so I was like, damn, this was literally my sole income at the time. I mean, I was only 17 at the time. I was actually still in high school. And so it's funny because I actually got homeschooled because of this business, because I was I'll never forget, I was, and I was a straight A student actually. So, I was filling out SAT applications and then filling out college apps and then packing shoes. And then one day I just literally had a nervous breakdown, and, I spoke with my dad and my mom. And I was just like, yo, man, I can't do this. This is just too much, So anyways, we got me on an online program. And so, yeah, that was really it. And then, so basically I had gotten into school. I went to UC Santa Barbara, go Gauchos. And that's pretty much that's pretty much how it went with the starting of the shoes. And then when I got to Santa Barbara, I was still selling shoes, but at that point, the market kind of got a little bit saturated, and I was off Amazon, right? So, literally a huge part of my revenue, was vanished in a day. So, I kind of just all right, what's next, And so, yeah, that was pretty much it.
Hell yeah, and as you said, so I jumped in a little bit when it was saturated, but I was hitting on it pretty high. But what I loved about that is that you had to strategize in a different way.
Yeah.
You had to change directions. If you understood that Amazon just was gone. Mm-hmm. My Amazon account was not there anymore, but I knew that I had learned these investment principles, and I'm an entrepreneur now. I quit school because I got homeschooled. I can't stop anymore. I just got to change my direction. I got to be a little bit more flexible and go in a different route. So you recognize that, and you weren't really scared of that challenge because you understood. You just kept going, and this is something. Being an entrepreneur is totally something that you wanted to do. So I love how sneakers is a really safe ground as well. It's a really great safe ground to first learn your investment principles. That's how I learned myself. Mine is literally a similar story as you. I was a senior in college, selling sneakers. During COVID, everybody just picking up random things. I had some good startup money, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna just flip this bread that I got, and I'm just gonna keep flipping it. So I ended up making $3,000 a month, $4,000 a month, crushing it. And and I'm a big sneakerhead. I was having good sneakers on my feet, all that. I wasn't keeping them, I was selling them. But then I got to a point where I was selling so much, and I was making different negotiations. learning how to negotiate, learning how to be an entrepreneur, I scaled up my sneaker business to a great point, and then I had to go in a different direction. Yo, I was running track and I was selling sneakers at the same time. Was taking so much energy, and then out of nowhere, I had to go in a different direction because I lost $5,000 because my sneaker box got lost.
Oh man.
I was like, yo, 5K. I'm a senior. I'm running track.
Bro.
I'm doing school and I lost $5,000. I'm like, yo, what am I gonna do? You feel me? Like that's like it, but it taught me great investment principle because that's just what this entrepreneur game is. All the money that I lost, I had a big lesson. Like I learned more about the money. I learned more from the money that I lost than the money that I made.
Right.
You know. So
definitely.
It taught me resilience because like throughout this game of being an entrepreneur, I gotta put out money on to mentorship. I gotta put out big lump sums of money. Like I did that before. I spent $5,000 when I was a broke college student and I didn't have too much in my pockets. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I'm still good. And my business is still scaling. And it taught me a lot of different other things from there, and I was able to scale up. So yeah, I resonate with that story deeply, and like just it's great how just getting out there and going and doing it can lead to so much more. Right. You know, who would have thought that I would ever be a sneaker reseller, and who would have thought you'd be a sneaker reseller? Right. Scale it up, and now we're entrepreneurs. We're investing in real estate, own a travel agency, and doing a lot of other cool things. You know, helping people out. That's just the route that can happen when you just you're always flexible, you know, and you're not just when something isn't working, you gotta change it, you know, and you gotta run into that change with excitement,
right?
And there's not like, oh, I can't make it, I gotta make it, I must. So it's just changing that changing that around.
Kendrick, I see you.
Yes sir. It's a privilege to feel the pressure to excel. It's a privilege to feel the pressure to excel.
Oh, that's a bar.
You know what I'm saying?
I better write that down.
Gotta write that one down. Because why do you feel pressure? Why do you feel pressure? It's likely because people are starting to notice your wins. Your wins are starting to add up, and your wins are starting to build up. You're nearing on things that people have not done before. People are starting to notice you because you're in a land of unknown. You're in a land of not many people are. You're reaching new heights. You gotta learn to crave those new heights that you're heading towards. Because when you start loving the pressure, as soon as you start relaxing, and even if it's for a moment, you will instantly start feeling like you're slacking. You'll instantly start feeling like I gotta do something right now. When you crave those heights. Because I gotta stay up there. I can't go back down. And something that changed for me monumentally, I'm pretty sure you, is, I just can't watch TV. It's really hard for me to watch TV. Shows aren't entertaining anymore. And especially, I can't watch TV if I didn't put enough pressure on myself throughout my day. If I didn't navigate through a monumental stressor, if I didn't navigate through a monumental challenge throughout my day, I don't feel like I deserve TV. Why? How can I sit down if I need to go make more pressure? When I'm sitting down watching TV when I didn't do enough, in my head I'm creating new situations to make things harder for myself, you know? I just don't feel comfortable. And when you crave that pressure all the time, it's like, I gotta go find more points of pressure. I gotta go find that pressure. I can't sit down and watch TV anymore.
Bro, and it's crazy you say that because right now I'm living in a $3,300 apartment, and that shit is hella expensive, but it like brings me in this mode where like, bro, I live in a high rise in Hollywood, and like it puts me in this mode where like I'm like, okay, I gotta pay this rent, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I gotta actually, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I gotta make thunder fire. You get what I'm saying? Because like, I have bills, I have obligations. You know what I mean? Like, so I think definitely when you put your back against the wall, pressure makes diamonds, right? Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's what you kind of like. I mean, I want to say this with tiptoeing, right? Don't live above your means, right? But at the same time, if you can afford yourself a luxury, I don't think you should rob yourself of it either, because it pushes you in order to like, just get after it, So I think definitely if you can, definitely, put yourself in those types of situations. Right?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's like, even for many people who are teeter-tottering on being an entrepreneur, one of the biggest things that worked for me was not working my 9 to 5 anymore. You know, now I gotta go make money from my business. Like my businesses have to produce. I don't have a backup income to keep me stable. And then at that point, I gotta do something. Something has to shake. You know, right. So that's why I love about that pressure and what it does for you.
Right.
And so that pressure and those challenges, they then give you energy, because I can't sit down. I feel time all the time. I can't sit down. I got to do something with this time because I feel that pressure. So now that challenge of that pressure is now giving me energy. So you got to learn how to reframe the meaning of those challenges to now give you energy. Once you do that, you'll start running into challenges, heading straight into them, because you understand that I have so much more energy. I'm excited. You have excitement to run into them. I'm grateful to run into them. I have confidence that I'm going to beat this challenge. I'm a kid from Sicklerville, New Jersey. I'm a kid that all you ever had to do was give me an opportunity and I'm going to take advantage of me. And that's pretty much everybody from my city too. That's the thing. But I started going after those challenges. I started running into challenges. I wasn't scared of challenges. I wanted more. I wanted more challenges. And I started, three things that changed my everyday, that I integrated into my life, that made monumental waves into me, and we talked about it. Three things. Gratitude, excitement, and confidence. Because once I started integrating these three into my life, I started realizing that every day I wake up with the opportunity of growth. And that's so exciting. I'm so grateful to wake up with the opportunity of growth. And now that makes me so confident, because I know whatever challenge that I go into, I'm going to run into it because it's giving me that opportunity of growth. I'm grateful for that challenge. I'm excited for it. And now I'm confident because I know it's going to turn into a treasure. I've seen it turn into a treasure on a magnitude of times. So many times I've seen that turn into a treasure. I'm running into it. And I'm so excited because, and I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so excited, I'm so confident, because I know that every day that I'm crafting a person that has access to the opportunities that I envision for myself. All I ever needed was an opportunity. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to work on that person that has access to that opportunity that I want. That's what you got to do. Who is that person that has access to it? Craft that. Get closer to that person every single day. And that's all you need to do. And because one thing about me is that, and that's why you'll always find me in different masterminds and different events and networking events in different communities, because I'm going to prove to you that I belong in that room. If you gave me that opportunity to be in that room, I'm going to prove to you that I belong in it. So I'm going to give value in that room. I'm going to make my presence be known. I'm going to go talk to the person that makes the most money in that room, because I'm going to show them that, yo, you better let me into the next event. You remember my name because you need me at the next event. Don't make the mistake of not having me at your next event. I'm worth something. I give your event value.
Right. And I think I want to do this for the audience. Have you ever had any like imposter syndrome, where like, you know, whereby you're somewhere and you don't feel like you belong there because maybe, I don't know, like, you know, just all these like little, I don't know, maybe you grew up in the lower middle class or whatever, like, do you maybe just feel like, oh, okay, like, maybe I don't belong here, or is it no, like, you walk into everywhere like, no, I belong in this motherfucker, like, seriously?
Me? So, honestly, I walk into the place like I own it, and everywhere I go.
Absolutely.
Like, I gotta walk into it like I own it.
As you should. I
got to.
Yeah, as you should, for sure. Yeah, as you should.
I'm gonna show y'all that I belong in the room.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just what I walk in with confidence. Because honestly, I'm grateful that you let me in the room, and now I'm excited for that opportunity. But now I'm confident, because if you put me in that room with y'all, yo, I'm gonna excel.
Right.
I knew all along I had those qualities. Like, I can do it. But I gotta become the person that has access to that opportunity. Nobody's gonna give you shit out here, and I know that. But once you give it to me, yo, you ain't gotta hand it. All you gotta do is put it out. I'm gonna take it. I'm snatching it out of your hands. Cause I want those opportunities so bad. I was just a kid that all I ever wanted was opportunity. All I ever wanted to do was show that I'm worth something. All I ever wanted to do was show that I belong. Yo, so give me that opportunity. I'm gonna prove to you, yo, I gotta bring this kid again. every single time.
Right.
I'm gonna walk like I own the place. That's just how I'm coming. You know what I'm saying?
As you should, Pop.
You know what I'm saying?
As you definitely should. Yeah.
Because gaining access to those opportunities is what wakes me up every day. And proving that I'm worth the time and the access is something that I work towards proving. You know, that's why I wake up. That's why I work so hard, because I want to prove to the people that are giving me a chance, the people that may give me a chance, that I'm worth to the top. And then I'm going to learn how to swim. That's all it is. It's never sinking. If I don't beat it, then I just got to keep trying, and I got to keep doing it over and over again. It's just only a matter of time. And it's the fact that you know that that's going to happen. So it's exciting. When I met you, we built a great relationship really fast. We were just playing basketball yesterday with the guys. It was a great time. And already just through our conversation, we have elevated each other in a monumental way. So to you, can you talk about the importance of being around a community of people, around a network of people who constantly challenge you and elevate you?
Yeah, man. Like, I actually think that's probably the most important thing that you can do. I actually just, I'm going to Austin for, this real estate meetup and just things like that, you know, just literally getting into a network whereby, you feel like, oh, man, this person has, 30 arbitrage units. Damn, I got to get mine up. You know what I mean? And it's just, it gives you this sense of, not only community, but of basically pushing yourself. You know what I mean? Oh, man, this guy. And it's not even oh, you're jealous or anything. It's it's basically, it's if you hang out with 5 dummies, you're gonna be the 6th, right? And if you hang out with 5 successful people, you're gonna be the 6th, right? Yeah. So, and I think that's actually one of the most important things that you can do. And honestly, I need to do that myself. I was actually just, I was just talking to my mom the other day, and I was like, yeah, I have to start going to more real estate meetups and just things like that, you know, just because you never really know who you're gonna meet. Right, even Kings, right? I met him at a real estate meetup, right? And we met through him. So,
exactly.
you never know what can happen between these, just meeting people and things like that.
You know, your network is literally your net worth. And so as you start building out this network, it's okay. You're gonna start finding ways to make partnerships and start making money with each other and integrating each other to each other's business.
Right.
But it's why are you integrating that person into your business? Not to take off pressure from yourself. You need to integrate people into your business. You need to integrate people into your team to crank up the pressure, not to divide that stress, not to divide that pressure. You want to be able to crank it up. You want people that are going to make you work even harder, you know? So it's those real estate meetups are great ways to meet people, and different events in your industry are great ways to meet people who are better than you, who are people that make you have to work harder to elevate their level. You know, don't get around people that are just going to take off the stress from you. You know, that's not the network that you want. You want the network that's going to make you work harder. And that's what we've already been doing right now, sitting down with each other. We just sitting here masterminding up, pushing each other, trying to elevate each other's business. Not making it easy for each other in any kind of way, you know? Exactly. And we haven't been doing that since we got together. I definitely recommend y'all that y'all get into y'all industry events and go to those networking events, because you're going to find somebody that's better than you. Right. But when you get around that person that's better than you, don't ask them to make it easier for you. Get with them to make it harder for yourself. You know.
And maybe try to give value to that person, you know?
Always. You gotta lead with value.
Just gotta lead with value. Okay, maybe you know a lot about long-term rentals, but I know about Airbnb. So, we can get together and we can do something. Or maybe you're an investor and I'm an entrepreneur, or I'm also an investor, but I can use your money to, flip it into more homes and things like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I have a lot of stories, and these events are always great ways to find mentors that we're talking about, people who are just better than you. So can you share some experiences of mentorship and how it has created pressure for yourself, has made things better in your entrepreneur journey, has cut the learning curve? How has mentorship played a factor in your business?
I got this course, and so basically he was definitely mentoring me into Airbnb and things like that. And so that's how I actually learned how to do Airbnb, because to be honest, Airbnb, it seems like a real daunting task. Oh man, I gotta furnish this, you know what I mean? Yeah. It seems like something real daunting, but to be honest, it's really not. It's not that difficult, and it's something that you can really do. I would say get a mentor for sure. It was worth every single penny. Even if it's a couple $1,000s, it's definitely worth every single penny. And so, yeah.
No, it's totally worth it. I have spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on mentors. And I've connected with the most highest, and through those $1,000, I've connected with some of the highest level entrepreneurs, businessmen, and the entire space and the entire world, honestly. some of my mentors. I always talk highly of my mentors because I always talk highly of my mentors because they have 10x, they have tripled my business in a really fast time. They have gave me a mental framework. They have gave me a business framework that has worked in tremendous levels, and they have cut that learning curve in half. They didn't make it easier for me in any kind of way. They just showed me a path that is still way harder than where I'm currently at. And so like some of my mentors that I've been with is Peter Voog, Sean Kemp. I had an opportunity to be under him in Seattle. Tim Grover is a mentor. Kevin Carroll, he's amazing. And they just cut my learning curve in half so much that it's totally worth it spending out those dollars. It's not even like you ever spend out dollars. You're totally investing in yourself, and then that's just gonna be made by your business.
Right, and I would say right now, if you have anywhere between like let's say $5,000 to $10,000, I would say the number one thing you do is you need to invest in yourself, right? Because to be honest, like unless I don't know, like I feel like it's just the best thing to do is to invest in yourself and maybe invest in getting some kind of mentor or investing in something whereby you can invest that money. Let's say you invest $3,000 in a program and then you have to spend $7,000 on an Airbnb or something like that. Just investing it in something that brings you value, because you need to actually, what you need to do is you need to work on your skills as an entrepreneur, right? I mean, that's what you have to do. It's like new booking. That's funny.
Hey, they coming through.
So,
y'all know that sound.
Y'all know that sound. So you need to work on your income abilities, right? So your ability to generate more income, right? So
money coming through. Roll it. Roll it.
Yeah. So you just need to, generate more income.
Yeah.
That's
the great thing about mentorship is that you don't have to go to college. Don't go to college. and that's like honestly a guy that has 2 degrees. I have my undergrad and master's. I went to in my master's I went to Syracuse University for my undergrad. I got my master's in sports leadership, sports administration, and at the University of Washington in Seattle. And I can tell you, I wish I was lucky enough to get a scholarship in my undergrad, but why didn't I just take that money and go invest all of it into mentors?
I'm telling you.
Like, and honestly, it's the time as well. It's so not even the money. Like that time, I could have started my entrepreneurial journey at a way earlier time, and I'd have been excelling at a much higher rate if I just invested that money into mentors. Don't go to college.
Right.
Don't go to college. You can skip out on college. And go get you a mentor that's gonna make you money now. That college, they're not really teaching you how to make money. They're teaching you how to be an employee. Go learn how to be an entrepreneur.
I agree.
For sure. So let's teach them how to be entrepreneurs. So what is the first step when starting an Airbnb arbitrage business?
Okay, so there's basically 2 ways you can go about it, right? You can either go on Thumbtack, right? That's Thumbtack. And then you can input yourself as a property manager, right? And then, so that way properties come to you, right? So if you put yourself as a property manager, let's say in Los Angeles that, you want to pay, or you want, properties that are in between $3,000 and $4,000, properties will actually come to you. And then you just use your pitch then. You just, you basically say, hey, look, I'm a Airbnb host. And so, yeah, just basically say I'm an Airbnb host and I want to use your property, in order to do, you know what? You don't even say Airbnb, sorry. You say I'm a short-term rental, right? I run a short-term rental platform, and because, Airbnb is kind of like this taboo. I don't really know what it is, but it's this taboo. So you kind of say, I'll list your property on different short-term rentals such as Vrbo or Booking.com. If you could try avoid Airbnb, I mean, if they ask, you can't lie. So, just say, yeah, I'm going to put on Airbnb as well. But just let them know that you're going to have, short-term rental insurance and things like that. So either you can go on Thumbtack and put yourself as a property manager and then properties will come to you, or you can just cold call, right? You could just literally, go on Zillow, go on the area you want. Well, first thing you need to do, look up short-term rental regulations in that area, because like honestly, there's so many regulations nowadays, like it's crazy. So like there's especially in a summer like California, right, where I mean it's super liberal and like they don't want they don't want Airbnbs and stuff like that. So in many cities, you can't even really get one. So you have to look at the laws before you get a short-term rental, right? And you know, that's pretty much it. So basically, either go on Thumbtack and, you know, well, no, first of all, look at the short-term rental laws in your city, right? If there's a short-term rental permit, then try and get that permit, or whereby you go and you get the unit and then you go get the permit, which is a little bit risky because you don't know if you can get that permit or how long it's going to take you to get that permit, right? Which is actually like a huge risk that I took because honestly, I'm in Los Angeles and like I didn't even know if I was going to get a permit. I was kind of just like, fuck it, you know, like
hell yeah,
fuck it,
go jump,
like,
take that leap every time.
You know,
Make
like
it to the other side.
I actually just took the leap and you know I got it, and so I mean now I'm dealing with them now again, but you know whatever. So so basically that's pretty much it, you know. Or you could just make cold calls and then you know you have a script and everything like that, and you know I have a script for you guys if you guys need that. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yo, you heard it. Take those steps right now. Take those steps right now. As soon as you get this call, go take those steps. So take those steps, and don't stop. Do whatever you gotta do to take that step. So let's warn the people, not even really just a warning, let's give you a little bit of game. So what is the most challenging step that you see most people fail at?
Definitely pitching landlords. Definitely because it's something whereby, you know, it's like a sales job. It's honestly like a sales job where, you know, you go towards landlords and, you know, like you're like, oh, I need to, you know, run a short-term rental in your property, and they're like, oh, hell no. And then, you know, you kind of get discouraged a little bit. But I think definitely getting the first yes. But then when you get the first yes, it's kind of like, it's just easy after that. Like, because honestly, I promise you right now, if I wanted to get a new unit today, give me about a week. Mm-hmm. Give me about a week, man. Yeah. Like, honestly, I'm smooth with it. Like, because like you learn to handle objections and things like that. Like, because a common objection is like, oh, like, you know, what if they destroy my property? Like, well, sir, you know, any minor inconveniences that isn't like an infrastructural thing, we take care of everything. You know, we get it professionally cleaned every 2 or 3 days. Every time, you know, a guest checks out, we get it professionally cleaned. And honestly, we maintain it better than a long-term tenant would, because realistically, a long-term tenant could just be there and be like a slum tenant, right? They could just be disgusting, you know, I don't know, paraphernalia everywhere or whatever the hell. And so basically you just have to let them know that you're going to really take good care of their property. And what you can help with this is by having an actual website and a company. So you can actually just show them your card, like, look, you know, this is what we do. This is, you know, we do short-term rental profit. And then they might try to take profit. Do not let that happen. Do not let that happen. Because I had a few landlords that were trying to take profit, and then it's like, hell no. Don't do that.
Yeah, thank you both so much for the talk. I actually ended up finding out about this because David, I came across one of your courses on Udemy on arbitrage. Mm-hmm. So just wanted to learn more about kind of your story. One question that I have, I know you talked about regulations a bit, but for that one property you have in Culver City, like I guess the first question about it is like, did it affect your occupancy rates that much? And the second one is, how did you get to convincing the landlord when the regulations were against your favor?
Well, one, it did not affect my occupancy because I quickly switched it to Glendale, like I said before. I quickly switched the address to Glendale, which is like a little loophole we have here in LA. But what was the second question? Sorry.
For convincing the landlord, how'd you get them to get on board with like leasing you the property?
Yeah, you know, I literally was just honest, you know, like I'm just like, you know, I'm literally just out here and I'm trying to basically rent out your property and do Airbnb with it, you know, and I came with the website and all those kinds of things, and I made my website using HostAway, which is like it's a short-term rental management platform. It's like $20 a month.
We talked about, great question, Tony. I appreciate you for sharing that. And so, how much money do you need to start an Airbnb arbitrage business? So
you can actually leverage your credit. What I mean by this is like your business credit, your personal credit. So basically, you need like, let's say $7,000 just about for like a 1-bedroom here in California would run you about, let's say $7 grand just about. So either you have the cash or you have the credit for it. And if you don't have the credit for it, then you have the cash for it. So yeah, that's basically where it is. So basically, we teach in my program how to get qualify for that credit and things like that. So
yeah, definitely. And I'll also be hosting a masterclass soon too on how to get X amount of dollars. I'm talking about big money. I won't drop how much money y'all can make yet, but I'm talking about some good money off of credit. Hey, we'll definitely be going into those strategies and how to build foundation your business with credit, because every business should be foundation with credit.
Right.
It shouldn't be no other way. Use other people's money.
Right.
So, what are some of the best places to invest in Airbnb arbitrage?
Definitely, I would say, honestly, like literally just the places with no regulation. So Houston, Dallas, honestly, any major city, really. Like, any major city that doesn't have, like, I know New York is a nightmare because they have crazy regulations. Funny enough, my brother actually has units in New York. So, like, I taught him about, the Airbnb thing, and so he's doing it in New York. So, anyways, so, yeah, like, basically, just any major city, really. Like, even a tertiary city. Like, even a tertiary city whereby the rent, I would advise against this, but maybe sometimes you would need to go there because, I don't know, proximity or whatever. Like, let's say a city like, I don't know, Rancho Cucamonga.
Yeah.
Right, like, let's say Rancho Cucamonga, right, whereby you don't have that much traffic, but the rent is lower, right? So, like, it's either like this. You can go for really high rent and really high occupancy, really high revenue, or you can go for a really low rent and let's say medium occupancy, right? So I tend to go for the higher rent, higher occupancy, but anything that floats your boat, really.
Hell yeah. Nah, that sounds great. So you did talk into it, but like, if there's one thing that you could tell somebody not to do, how can somebody make less mistakes to be successful at Airbnb arbitrage?
Do not clean. Do not go. I mean, unless you're like a cleaning wizard, do not try to clean your properties by yourself, because that was one of the mistakes I made when I first started out. And like, I was literally like cleaning, and I'm like, dude. And then I even got like a 4-star review just because they were like, oh, there was a little spots here and there. Hire a professional, you know what I mean? Like, and you can go on Craigslist. I mean, I teach this in my course, but you can go on Craigslist and literally just hire professionals or like a cleaning team or something like that. So I would definitely say that. And then I would definitely say your pricing. Your pricing is so important, right? I see hosts all the time whereby they're 100% booked out. And I'm like, you're losing so much money, because you have to realize, right? When you're 100% booked out, you should always be kind of finding your ceiling. What do I mean by that? Let's say I'm charging $200 a night and I'm booked out for the next 30 days, right? That's dumb, because I could have been charging $300 or even $350 a night and been booked out for the next 15 days. Yeah, I have less occupancy, but I make more money. Right. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think hosts have this anxiety whereby, you're not getting booked, so you're like, oh man, let me just lower the price. And I think, so basically it's like, if it's within 30 days, then your price can be like, let's say just average, your average, right? And a lot of these details are on Price Labs, right? So you take your average lead booking time, which is the average time it takes from someone in your market to book, right? Then when it's below that, so let's say the average lead booking time, so let's say people in LA, they usually book around like 45 days ahead, right? So within these 45 days, my prices are normal, as in they're like what my competition is, right? So let's just give me one of my 4 bedrooms, for example, which is like $450 a night, right? So let's just say $450 a night, right? And it's like, so basically every single day is even different too. So because a weekend price isn't the same as a weekday price. You know what I'm saying? So a weekday we'll probably do like $360. Then weekend we'll probably do like $450. You know what I'm saying? So and then even in peak season, sometimes we do like $560. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, like
you dropping these gems.
Yeah, sometimes
y'all better catch this, man.
Sometimes we even do like $560. So basically your average lead booking time is super important, and you want to get this data off pricelabs.com. So when it's beyond your average lead booking time, you want to price it as high as possible, right? Because you're not even worried about, I'm not worried about March right now, or, okay, what is it February now? Okay, it just turned February, so maybe I am worried about, but let's say April, right? Let's say April. I'm not really worried about April, right? I'm worried about this next month, and the month after that, right? So even let's say March, that I can actually put my pricing a little bit higher, right? To whereby I can get bookings, but they're at the maximum maximum price. So my revenue, my occupancy might not be as high, which is even better. Because if I can make $15,000 and my occupancy is 50%, rather than $8,000 and my revenue is 100%, which one am I gonna take? Obviously, the one that makes me more money. You get what I'm saying? That's it.
Now you going crazy with these jets. I'm mind blown. I'm like, yo, he dropping them. I appreciate for the game that you giving right now, man. Like, y'all gotta take this information in. I know it's a lot, but hey, that's why we got you as a resource. If it's a lot now, I need to go study up more and ask him more questions. You know,
right.
If it's like that, y'all need to go get with him and learn more because he's dropping a lot on y'all right now. I just need y'all to digest this because. Hey, he got so much more left to go, but I know we only got a couple more minutes to go. I ain't gonna take up too much of your time, but I've been appreciating the gems. We can go all night with this, man. You going crazy. But let's dig into our last questions. So you are an investor I do a lot of different traveling and stuff like that. I love traveling different places. I have not got me a property out of state yet, though. Mm-hmm. Man, how are you doing that? How have you been able to invest in a different country? And what is it like owning an Airbnb? And what is it? Africa? You own an Airbnb?
Yeah, Nigeria. So,
Nigeria. Sheesh, come on.
Yeah. So I mean, that's where I'm from. So like, it's not difficult really because I actually bought that property. So I actually bought it. Like I actually own that property, and so I basically I bought it.
Sheesh, cash in hand here. Take that.
I bought that property. So then a few months went by, and my bookings were actually slowing down because of like some political instability. So I actually sold the property now. So I no longer own it.
Cool.
Yeah.
But you did that though. That's going crazy though, for sure. Man, that's amazing.
Yeah, it wasn't difficult. Like it really wasn't difficult.
I'm alright, but you got the gems on that though.
Yeah,
for sure.
You
got the information and really how to do it.
Yeah, right.
Hey, if y'all want to learn more, how can the audience learn more? How can we pick up your ebooks? How can we join your mentorship? Give us the information on how we can get more of this game on Airbnb.
So follow me at David Odigie. I can put the link in the chat and then
we'll drop it.
Yeah. We'll drop that link somewhere. And so follow me and then just book a call with me. Honestly, book a call with me. It's totally free. So you'll book a call with me and then we'll see how we can get you started on Airbnb. Because honestly, like I always say to people, like I really think Airbnb is the best way for someone with like little or to no cash. Like let's say you have like 10 grand in savings. It's the best way to get started into real estate, right? Into building your financial stability and your financial wealth. Because you don't have to own anything, right? And it's like own everything, own nothing, control everything type situation, right? So you're controlling this Airbnb and you're making money from it, yet you don't own it, right? So you don't have to, worry about these big down payment, 20% down. They're gonna check your taxes from 1996. You know what I mean? Like, so
that closing process is crazy.
Yeah, man, it is. So, yeah, man, get with me at my. I can definitely drop my links in here.
Definitely. If you forward that over to me, I'll make sure everybody gets in there.
Yeah, fact.
And we squared away with it. And so a question that we all should be asking right now. And I want everybody to think about is, I'm going to ask you and I want you to answer it. How can we provide value to you and your business? I need you to go find my boy David a property and we can talk.
Yeah.
Let's go do that. Go find him a couple Airbnb. If you may have a apartment that you're thinking about leasing or that you may think is on a radar for Airbnb arbitrage, hey, how about you go run and we help you walk through the steps on how to do
or
that.
You can join my program.
Join that program.
Join my program. Which is going to give you so much value, just like we did on this call.
So join that. That's what it is. Hey, David, I appreciate you for the game.
Hey, man.
Monumental
Absolutely.
game,
Absolutely,
man. I
bro.
really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
You coming through and stopping by for my Mentality Mondays.
Yeah,
I hope
man.
y'all got the mental framework on how to invest into Airbnbs and the mental framework to push through any challenges that may come up during your investing journey into real estate. I really appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all next Monday. I'll have so many more guests with y'all, and I appreciate my guy David for dropping in, giving this value in this game, man.
Hey, absolutely.
Much
dude.
love.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate you, Pop.
You know.
I appreciate you.
Hey, man, y'all make sure y'all go join his mentorship if y'all rocked with the game. I know y'all rocked with the game. I love the game, so joining his mentorship is a no-brainer, and it's worth it. Easy.